Um, this is a little bit outside bracketology, but if you had to pick a Cinderella this year, who would it be and why?
Well, let's define two types of Cinderella, right?
Okay.
There's the George Mason, double-digit seed that goes a long way, even sometimes just to the second weekend, right? Like for a double-digit seed, the Sweet 16 is like their national championship,
100%,
and rightfully so, rightfully so. And teams in that range that can win, I think, are Liberty, UNC-Greensboro. Now we're, if Western Kentucky is going to be a double-digit seed, right, and they have a lottery pick, so
they're going to be that 12 that no 5 wants to play.
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. So, in filling out that bracket, just know you got to have a couple 3 double-digit seeds playing in the second weekend, or you're bucking history. The other kind of Cinderellas are harder to find, get less attention, but will earn you more points probably in most contests. And those are what I call the down-ballot teams from the major conferences who have huge wins in many cases, right? But finish 4th or 5th. Like people forget, Oklahoma State is the 5th seed, right, in the Big 12, which is more common about the Big 12 than it is about Oklahoma State. But so teams, that aren't the 1 or 2, let's say, in their leagues that could, how about UConn?
Playing great right now.
They're playing great right now. And, I don't think James Bouknight is Kemba Walker or even Shabazz.
Not a lot of people are, right?
But there's a little bit of a parallel there that you have to pay attention to, don't you think?
I mean, the way he's playing, he can carry them.
Yeah, and another team, there were points of time this year. I actually thought Tennessee was going to go to the Final Four. Like their roster, their first 6 or 7, you wouldn't trade for many teams.
Every time I start to believe in them, they lay an egg. Where they lose Kentucky or LSU or Auburn, and it's just I'm off the bandwagon again.
Yeah, but there's going to be an off the bandwagon team playing in April.
Agreed.
Or at least late March, because there always is. So I look for teams like that. How about Colorado? Nobody talks about Colorado. They have a great senior, McKinley Wright. Tad Boyle, the coach, very underrated, I think. And, they play, more of a traditional, right, kind of – and that has a way of keeping both teams in the game at the same time.
Metrics love them.
Right. And then it's who wins the 4-minute game at the end. Right. And they have the pieces to do that more than once or twice, I think.
We talked about this a little bit before, and you mentioned UConn as one of these type of teams. And, I don't know if Tennessee will get here, but are there any under 7 seeds, teams seeded 7 or below, that can make a run in the tournament?
Well, BYU could be in an 8-9 game. I think they should be a 6 or 7. San Diego State is going to be in that range. And they're good enough. We mentioned Western Kentucky as deeper Cinderella because, they have a pro in the middle who's, going to be a millionaire in a couple months. Those teams come to mind. I'm thinking, who else is in that range? Well, this is crazy. How about Michigan State?
I mean, right now, they've beaten 3 top 10 teams or top 8 teams basically in the last 2 weeks.
They beat 2 in less than 2 weeks. Yeah. I don't think there's any other double-digit seeds that have done that, like maybe ever in the run-up to the tournament.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.